All right, so we back on. I'm Stuby Kas. This is Life is a Freestyle. Apologies from earlier, everybody that was on the chat. Apologies to ALBe Back, of course.
Now we got extra time to go extra over.
That's right. Let's do it. So, I'm gonna go ahead and jump into bar number 8. We're about halfway through this and try to make sure we get through all these questions. And remember, everybody, the last 2 questions of this 16 bars is going to be up to y'all. So in the chat, make sure that you are asking those questions when we get to around bar number 14. That's the one. That's the last one I'm going to be doing. And then the last, 15 to 16 are up on
How
y'all. So here
how
we
have I
go.
been doing? Have I been dropping the bars?
Oh yeah, of course, of course. That's why when it cut off, I was like, oh no, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so we good though. Like, let's keep it pushing. As a family man, this is question number 8. As a family man, how has the scope of your work evolved over time?
Um, as a family man, how does my this? Well, I took a lot of time off from like even just the rap game.
Mm,
I had a kid, 8 years ago. So
mm,
that was when my record was out and stuff like that, and I took a lot of. If anybody knows me, they know that I'm all about my daughter, and so
mm,
I knew that she needed the that early soil, and I wasn't afraid to give that to her, and then that way, you know, it is still giving it to the world. I think people get really uh, fixated on when they're gonna blow up, as opposed to planting a seed, watering it, making it grow, letting
mm,
that grow up. And
mm.
and it has nothing to do with fame, or it just has to do with the soil. So
Yeah.
I think I matured because I stood away from the game, and I became a really, really just been a dad. Then
That's important.
I took corporate jobs too, and I took corporate jobs, but I worked for Beats by Dre for a
Okay.
while, for about 2 years before they were Apple, and then even after
Mm-hmm.
in the marketing team there. So shouts to everybody there. We won a couple awards at Cannes Film Festival. Lions, a couple Lions. That's
Right.
Oscars in commercial marketing talk. But
Right.
like
Right.
and so I did other things. I used hip hop in other ways, in other forms, in other plateaus. I interviewed Mos Def there, the Roots, the Locks. Tyler Creator. I interviewed everybody and gave them a lot of dope gems for the culture, to make the culture dope. So you can
Mm,
constantly put, and even this right here, right? This company that I am a part owner of, Ica Smart Insole. Um,
okay.
you put the our smart insole into your kid's shoe, and then you
Mm-hmm.
can track them on the phone by Bluetooth. You know,
That's
um,
mad smart.
so yeah, so I add all of me into my endeavors so that I can be a family man.
Yeah.
A musician is just like I said, a doctor. When needed, I could come heal. You know.
Right. Right. Bet. All right. Um, some of the most difficult times draw us to create our most impactful works. Can you detail a moment in your life where you translated the emotions of the moment or the times at hand to your craft?
Yeah, I think that the record I did with Pun, the record I
Mm,
did for Pun with Most, that ended up on Kanye's graduation album, um, which was I don't want to say goodbye to
yeah.
you, so I'm just
Right.
gonna say goodnight. I think that was one of, there's a couple of lines in some records that I feel you know, um, that were impactful, that I knew why I said them, because that
Mm-hmm.
obviously hurt me. You know what I mean? So I hear it back and I go, oh, I hear that. That's you painted with pain there. Can I
Yeah.
speak of the time? Um, you know, um, my I think the most impactful record to answer that question would be this little thing I did called Stay.
Okay.
You know, where I'm talking about my daughter.
Bet.
A couple of months ago, I dropped the seed. Been watering her with words like a begotten tree, a divine wobbly me, bugged out the way she yawn like me. Yo, she's so out because she was born to be just daughterly.
Nice.
Yeah, I guess I wrote that a couple months when she was born. That was impactful.
Okay, definitely. So we came across a clip of on IG of you performing on stage with Black Thought, and another YouTube clip separately where you're speaking with KRS-One. So what artists or MCs inspire you to keep your pen sharp and to continue to refine your craft? I think you touched on this a little bit earlier on, but now that we're on the second part of this, definitely if you could talk to that, your inspirations from a maybe not so much a competitive standpoint, but just inspirational.
Man, vice versa.
Yeah.
Actually on. Lady London. Whenever Kendrick decides to come out the cave and save the day.
Giant.
Yeah. But I used to rap with K Dot back in the day at the Pit in LA back in years ago. Yeah, you know, Hove, of course. I love performers. So Osiris, he's a monster. The way he thinks makes me scared. But when it comes to like my teacher, mentors, Black Thought, you know, Black Thought will send me lyric music that he's, you know, never put out. And he'll listen to my music and never comment.
I know the feeling, man.
And the silence is deafening.
Yeah.
So that kind of thing makes me go hard as fuck. Like I go, how can I, like, see, look at that little sensei shit right there. I didn't even see that, but look at the sensei shit. He sent me a record. I'm like googly over it. I'm going, oh my God, why did you say that? Why did you say? I sent him a record and it's crickets. And it's like, you haven't moved the rock. Move the fucking rock. Move it. If you don't move it, then it's not gonna get moved. And so I keep for years. I keep him in the back of my mind. I keep Pun in the back of my mind too, because he taught me some techniques. And if I don't follow the techniques, I feel like I'm a little off in the record.
Gotcha. Yeah. All right, bet. So this is question number 11 we're getting into. What are your personal plans for the future in response to bringing it back to COVID-19, where we are right now, in terms of travel, lifestyle, or the way you see the world, the way you see your outlook? Are there any updates to the way that you're gonna kind of move as a result of COVID-19?
Is there gonna be ways that I move differently?
Yeah. Or like plans that you have as a result of the world kind of changing the way that we do our things socially, or the way that we do things from an economic standpoint, or what have you?
I feel we Black, and if you put us up against anything, we match.
There it is. Shout out to the shorty on the stream. So the next question is,
you feel what I'm saying? So
that was a bar. That was a bar.
Whatever, you know what I mean? Whatever's gonna happen, whatever we're gonna maneuver. We're gonna maneuver. We're rhythmic people. We're rhythmic people. That's why it looks like a poem when you see Allen Iverson come up the court.
Right.
It's a ball, and the ball makes a sound, and we know what to do with sounds. We're rhythmic people. You know what I mean? And so when we feel and we hear how to move,
Yeah.
We'll be able to do that, right?
Yeah. 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 Life in itself is a rhythm, and that's why life being a freestyle can kind of play along with that, because freestyle goes to the rhythm a lot of times, and the overarching kind of if you look at the scope of the world, the way that the world itself, the planet breathes over time, it goes from season to season. The way that trees, shed their leaves and grow new ones. The way that human beings kind of, live their daily lives. When you zoom out and you kind of look at it in the fast motion, you can see they kind of move really fast during the day, and then they slow down at night and move really fast during the day. So all of that rhythm is on a grand scale, on a galactic, universal scale, and also on a very micro scale when it comes to like breathing, or when it comes to just like the patterns of our behavior and stuff like that.
But
So that's
also,
definitely a bar.
but also on a very chosen scale. Nobody taught me how to dance. I just know how to dance. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's embedded in your DNA. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So like this,
Right.
so you feel what I'm saying? You can't. It's there. It is. Nobody. There's also a chosen part element that we have to allow ourselves to be okay with, so we can celebrate and feel
Yeah.
great about your secret power that you have inside you.
Yeah.
And you're not going to be able to exercise your power if you can't identify it. And
Right.
so if you just look at rhythm as being something we all got, then you're sadly mistaken.
Yeah.
And the rhythm that you have is from ancestors that when you cleaning up the your sheet, and you're about to fix it for your bed, and you wipe it, and then there might be like a bottle top on your bed, so the bottle top just goes in the air and it falls into a perfect
just
rhythm.
like my remote.
Well, just like the waves of on the file in
Ocean.
Pro Tools, or just like in the ocean. So it's like when it comes to rhythm, you know what I mean? That wave that we have and that ability, that's everyone doesn't have that, and that's the reason why we were the oppressed. You know what I mean? Because we had something special, and so recognize your special, recognize your gift in order for you to be able to harness it and perfect it.
Right.
And that's, my friend, being black.
Gravity.
Gravity. Ooh.
Hey, with the bars. All right, so check it out. Yeah, that I mean, I totally agree with that. I feel like there's definitely an aspect to oppressed people where being able to resist and being able to continue to thrive to a certain degree shows a lot of resolve, shows a lot of intrinsic ability to deal with the outside world that maybe you don't see in other people, because they don't have to deal with it. So they've never had to learn that process of dealing with it mentally, dealing with it physiologically, spiritually, all that kind of stuff. So, we got the culture to support us as our backbone, to tell us, we've been able to withstand all of these things.
You got the
We'll
mirror.
be,
You got the
yeah,
mirror.
exactly.
You got
Yeah,
grandma, grandpa. You
yeah,
got we can't mistake that. We look to our culture too quick when we forget grandpa been there. They were the people that were there, they saw it, and they
yeah,
survived it so that you can exist. And so
right.
we lost sight of great grandpa. We don't even hear the words great great. And
Nah,
not as much as we hear I'm a savage. So like I feel like when it comes to our getting it right,
uh-huh,
I think we got to go kind of be receptive to what we've been taught already, and we've already been taught that we are survivors. We've already
right,
been taught that we have what it takes by yourself. You don't need any
right.
validation or any verification check.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I feel it. All right, so we are now on bar
Get it?
12, and
Verification check.
Verification check.
right, right,
Right? Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Bars.
And with as we know in the as rappers, 16 bars, bar 12 tends to be where you want to start to bring it all together. So as we go forward, with the online marketplace is now the norm. as art as a whole is seeing a higher turnover rate than probably any previous era. How do you feel as an artist, or even as art appreciators? How could we keep up with the ever adapting system that is present in today's rapid consumer based economy?
Go to your grandma and kiss your grandma. Feel how that feels.
Mm-hmm.
Go to your laptop and kiss your laptop. Feel how that feels.
Mm-hmm.
If it feels stupid to add heart to the machine, then don't.
Mm-hmm.
The machine will do whatever it does.
Okay.
But we're losing sight of the things that are alive. So how things maneuver without us is because we're allowing it to. And so
very true.
We as a people got to get to a place where we allow the kiss for the grandma.
Mm-hmm.
We allow live shows and touch, and longest running shows like EO Dub, and we allow, we understand streaming. We get it. We get it. No, we got it. So yeah, so he buys the package. He gets to stream every song. Okay, they worked really hard in the '60s, and he didn't really work hard, and it's just the same service. Oh, okay. We get it. Like it's beyond your control. So why don't you kiss your phone and kiss your laptop and see how much love it brings you back?
Yeah. So the point is to be connected to the real stuff that's happening around us, and including music, including art, but as it pertains to just being in connection with the right now. And
let me tell you
around
something. You're not hip hop.
Yeah.
You're not hip hop if you care about somebody else's party.
Okay.
I'm from the South Bronx through when hip hop is starting. So my father and my uncles essentially created it for the kids below him, which is us, right? Fred the Godson, me, my son, the youngins, Fab, you know what I mean? Like we watched it, like right in front of us. You know what I mean? That generation. It was never. It was hip hop was created like, oh, you're having a party, that's dope. I'm gonna have a party over here.
Yeah.
It was never, you know what I mean? The people that crashed the parties was dummies. If they fucked it up, you know what I mean, or whatever. But it was like, so the moment you care about somebody else's party, you're not hip hop. The moment a Puerto Rican cares about being Dominican, he's not Puerto Rican. The moment a Dominican really feels like she's white, she's not. The moment a Mexican, and shout out to Jessica in the building today. I heard a poem, and she's because her native tongue, her Mexican language says her name with a curl, she became insecure about saying her name to people who don't speak Latin because they're not going to repeat it back, but she shouldn't. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that aspect to life, man, your language, your you, the moment you feel that you need to be a part of a group that is not you, you've lost because you are Neo. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
You are the one.
Right.
Red or green pill, it doesn't matter. Whatever you take, you're the one.
That's right.
Yeah.
Bet. All right. So last couple questions from me, and then people in the chat. Just remember, you got a couple of questions coming up from you. So get them ready, get them keyboarded up, and then we're gonna drop them right after my last question.
Shout out to Jessica.
Right. Shout out to Jessica for sure. All right. So last two questions. What? So let me do it in reverse. So, how do you generally prepare to freestyle, whether it's in acting, rapping, or other forms of communication? Do you have a go-to stock of ideas or themes that you kind of pull from? Do you pull from the environment, or do you have kind of like a meditation or something that you do that gets you kind of free and clear to get you ready? How do you?
Now,
What's your process for
yeah, it's just
freestyling in the moment?
reaction. You know, as quick as a hiccup. You know, you gonna you gonna hear something. It's not like it's not thought out. If it's off the top, you know what I mean.
Right. Okay. And last question from me, number 14. This is just like an overall question. What would you say is the bare minimum somebody needs to have to be free in their actions? When we talk about freestyle, you know, part of that the freedom that you kind of have to have, that unrestricted nature of you know, being able to just act like you said.
Yeah,
React.
but freedom comes with a responsibility. There's no part of
Okay.
freedom without the part of responsibility. So the slaves,
Okay.
that's what Kanye was saying, but he said it wrong. You feel what I'm saying? It's like slavery is a choice, because once you're free, he didn't say that part. He could have dropped the bar right there. He said slavery is a choice, because once you experience freedom, you're now responsible for what you're free to do. You feel what I'm saying? And then it becomes so we were beaten to a point with language and physically. We were beaten to the point where we beat each other up, to the point where we didn't see what free was. So I'd be like, I'd be like, yo, if I'm in California, I'd be like, I just came from a run. People in California is a little different. They'd be like, yo, how many miles you ran? You know what I mean? I could go in the block where I'm from in the Bronx, and this is just honest the truth. Like, yo, I just came from a run. The fuck out of here, nigga. You trying to work out? Get out of here, nigga. You just want to live. You know what I mean? And so the idea of freedom is comes with a responsibility, because then once you sense it, now it's my responsibility to keep it. And so, you know, I'm sure that's what Harriet Tubman would say. You know what I mean? There's freedom, but then there's a responsibility. You know, so once you get it, you gotta do it. You know, so that I leave that with the freestyle.
Onus is on you.
When you off the top and you're feeling free, there's a responsibility to the room. What is the responsibility to the room? I can freestyle on EOW stage. I can freestyle on this IG live. I could stand on top of an IHOP table and start going off. But what am I going to spit? Which IHOP am I in? You see what I'm saying? If I'm in an IHOP in the South, you know, I'm like, yo, they messing with me in here. I'm trying to get out. Plus, yo, man, let's go to the Waffle House. And it's just because we're in the South, the Waffle House line gets a giggle. And then I can go to that person that giggled. And I can make that person feel good. And everyone could see that I'm making that person feel good. And as I do that, I can make someone else feel good. But I related to the room, and I related to the region, and I related to where I was. And that's the freedom that I have. But it's the responsibility to the room to make it enjoyable.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so it's up to y'all now. Those of you in the chat, we got 2 more questions to complete these 16 bars. So what y'all got to say about it? If you guys want to jump into the comments and ask ALBe Back a question about anything that you want, but we talk about freestyle, we talk about the pandemic, we talking about living through it, we're talking about making a way in this world. So what do y'all have to say? We could, you know, if y'all have any questions, this has been a great conversation thus far. This is the second part of it. And, you know, I appreciate ALBe Back. brother,
Nah,
for
no doubt,
you
brother.
coming in and blessing us with a hot 14, and we're gonna get a hot couplet out of you coming after these questions.
Yeah, or we could also take it to my live too. Anytime you wanna cross brand, I help out. Yeah.
Appreciate it. All right, so Lady Zay says, what should a rapper's goal be?
Healing.
And you said earlier,
Yeah,
healing. Yeah, you
you heal
said
the room,
from a musical
you
standpoint,
heal
from
the
a
room,
writing
you heal
standpoint.
yourself,
Yeah.
you heal the block, you heal the understanding of what it was and what it should be. Don't push us cause we're close to the edge. That was healing. You know what I mean? At every
Right.
essence. Chauffeur, come and take me away. Because I've been standing in this line for like 5 whole days. Me and security ain't getting along. And when I got to the front, they told me all of the tickets are gone. So just take me home where the moon is. And the M&Ms are yellow and the don't flicker. Everybody gets a nice autograph picture.
One for you and one for your sister. That's a night.
Where's the avid listener?
Every song's a favorite song, and I still feedback.
All the reviews say you need to go and see that.
Everybody
Clapping because everybody is pleased, and then they all hit the stage, start performing for me like ha 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 ha. Because if you are what you say you are, a superstar, then have no fear. The crowd is here.
Right. That's right. And that's definitely a good one to end on right there. I appreciate it so much. That's, you know, there's so many things in hip hop to draw from for inspiration and how it applies to life. And I appreciate you coming on and speaking to the perspective that you have, especially in light of, you know, the recent events of, you know, the loss of, you know, very dear friends and dear contributors to the culture, contributors to the healing of the people. And this is something that, you know, weighs heavy, but, you know, we want to make sure that people have an opportunity to hear something that helps to disconnect them from the pain, disconnect them from the struggle of, you know, whatever people are going through right now. We want to try to lift up, rise up, and fly away from this. And so
you have to go forward. We have to go forward. And remember, I think, to remember that the sun doesn't rise or fall, you know? The earth turns.
Right.
We just go to sleep.
The earth turns.
This is one long day. You know what I mean?
Yes,
and with that,
that's right. Space is space.
This is one long ass day. And so with that long day of experiences, maybe someone might be a mom experience that passes away. Maybe somebody might be a mom that wasn't a mother experience might pass away. We're going to go through a lot of ups and downs. In this experience, love God with all your heart and love your neighbor like you would love yourself. You know what I mean? For sure. As with the velocity that you want to be loved in. And if you do that, I think you'll have a great time in any forum, in the middle of Africa, in a shed, in the middle of Poland, you know, and it doesn't matter where you are. If you just love being existing and understand that there was something higher than you that's helping you exist, then you look at your neighbor, you look at to your left of you, your right of you, and you go, I'm going to love you with the velocity that I want to be loved with. I think you'll have a good time. And I think that's what I learned from Vice Versa. That's what I learned from ALBe Back. That's what I learned from Big Pun. That's what I learned from Kanye. You know, that freedom that comes with responsibility.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for capping that for us very expertly. So where can people find you? For people who are going to be watching this, people who are watching this now, people who are going to be watching this later, we'll be posting this to probably YouTube. I'll be splicing it up and chopping it up, putting it on YouTube. We're also going to try to eventually get this stuff all back to IGTV, but you know, it's some technical difficulties we run into sometimes. So just trying to get around those problems. But that being the case, where can people find you, and what's the next thing that you got popping that people could kind of be checking
Yeah,
out for?
I'm doing a cartoon right now, animation series. I'm doing with my man Jackie Long. I'm doing my album, and these series of albums that I have like 4 of them that we're just gonna kind of like just put out as collections, and it's not a promo thing. It's just like art installations. You know, you can go check it out if you want.
Yeah.
But I really make a lot of music for movies as well. I love making movies that attach to scenes and making scenes that much more intense. And I can use my written word, and I could spit, or I could just write for somebody, and I still get the same kind of satisfaction and money. And then so 88 millimeter vinyl, 8 millimeter vinyl is something that is going to come out real soon. We're going to put a lot of music out, and poetry. We're going to put out poetry albums. Shouts to the Last Poets. We're going to do something with them as well. And yeah, man. But yeah, it's not for us, you know, it's for the aliens. You know, it's for 100 years from now. You know, find a different way to eat. You know, just get great. I think a lot of times we forget that when we picked up music and we picked up rap, we were in school. So we were just getting a whole bunch of information. You know what I mean? Information was coming in, and we was learning how to absorb it. We were saying big words then, you know? Then when it became about the fame, you know, then people don't know no better. But yo, I'm here for it.
Okay. Well, yeah. So I appreciate you coming on. I'll be back. I've been Stuby Kas. This is Life is a Freestyle. And do you have any last words that you want to give to the people? And then we can
any last words?
Close space on this one.
Better believe that we relapse when we lack help. Midlife crisis, I seen that 12. Stop it. I heard your album and I see that's 12. It's a big deal, but y'all shall see my wealth. Thank you. I just heard my daughter say thank you. We're going to be here for a while like faithful. ALBe Back's a popular phrase, and it still is. Reappearing is apparent that they feel it. I hit it from the back because she left my back acrylic. No rehearsal, I don't drill it. I'm rap's magic villain. I stand past the ceiling. That's just black resilience. That's the caterpillar. The butterfly civilian cocoon is what they call this with their speech impediments. But that effect was evident. We needed more than the face of a black president. We needed the head of a senator that gave out sedatives and the hand of the gavel that gave out sentences. Here's 2 fingers and a few more fuck yous. I know I could have used those uncles, because the rules to jungles is don't lose no rumbles. But on the 1-to-1, we fought enough time to make it real hard for someone to choose to jump you. The security teams in the Louis duffel till a Louis bunt you. Ooh, he doubled, tripled, quadruple entendre. Killed so many niggas, I picked up a sponsor. Too bad Call of Duty can't respond fathers. Assalamu alaikum. Ramadan Mubarak.
Wow.
You already know. I'll be back.
All right.
Shouts to Zay.
Appreciate you, sir. Thank everybody
to Zay,
for joining.
I love you with all my heart. Zay, you my heart. Muslima, I love you so much.
All right, y'all. We out. Peace.